Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Poodle back with another CFB 26 video, and in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys a first look at the new and improved CFB offseason and how much they really improved. This video is presented by the EA Creator Network. Shout out to EA for letting me get the game early so I can get all this footage to you guys. Reminder though, this is a work in progress game, and everything you're being shown in these videos is still subject to change come CFB 26 release day. So let's start with this week, not technically the offseason, but they did improve job offers. This is something that was a big problem last year for a lot of people, and this already in itself is a big bonus. Like, I'm the Georgia coach, I'm Kirby Smart, we're getting offers from Nebraska, Oklahoma State, TCU, and Texas A&M. Why is that a big deal? Shouldn't you be getting better offers? If you guys knew anything about last year, you could be the coach of LSU, Georgia, have won 4 straight natties, and you'd be offered by like Air Force, Akron, and Ball State, and that was a pretty high actually. So they definitely made this better. They actually made it so you get real offers, and even if they could be a little bit better, they're real offers. Where does this actually play a role for a lot of people? If you're an offline user that likes to bounce teams and have like that realistic start as a coordinator, work your way up, you know, prove your merit, make it all the way up to a Kirby Smart level, this is awesome. This fixes a lot of those people who are really in a bad situation because of this. What else is it fixed? There's methods in this game that you can take advantage of, like starting as a coordinator for a school like the Georgia method or the CEO method under Georgia, or starting as a school that has really good packages. There's some really good methods here. Or starting as another school's coordinator who has a glitchy method package, kind of like Boise State had last year. That was really good, but then you would struggle to get an offer to actually leave that team after the fact. So I know a lot of people are going to appreciate this change. So that's the first portion of it. And as you go through the weeks, it does change. And they did actually add some packages that do play a role in this. So besides just the job offers, they did add this, which are coordinators are less likely to leave in the coaching carousel. Very important. As you know, last year was kind of just like they left. They didn't leave. You didn't know why. There was a hidden resign button. This is cool. Coordinators are more likely to accept your job offer. Very cool. If you find one that you like, you used to suck kind of just throwing an offer out and seeing what happened. Cream of the crop, increase the caliber of coordinators available for you to hire. Another very cool one. These are going to be like very coordinator coach specific packages. I don't know if I'd throw my points at them, but if you were an elite coach who worked your way up and you want to hold into your coordinators, maybe you do the Georgia method, you have some extra points to spend. It's kind of cool to do. So that's the first thing. We're going to advance one more week so you can kind of see how the offers do change week to week. I know a lot of you guys, I saw a lot of comments last year, whether you're in an online league. I know I was in an online league where after season 10, 15, some people would just kind of get bored of the situation that we were in. They're like, you know what, I want to change teams. But they didn't want to pick any team. They wanted to get an offer. They wanted to accept an offer like a real life coach and like kind of take their talent somewhere else, and they couldn't follow that. It's a good storyline thing. I get it. And as we move on, as you see, first round of offers, and this makes sense. The first good offers are probably gone now. Now we're looking at BYU, Cal, Iowa State, and Texas Tech. Not horrible offers, but they decrease. Some of the better jobs probably filled already. Kind of realistic, right? Some of the best jobs fill quickly, and then they kind of fill the rest after. And here we are. Let's see what happens in the next advance here as the coaching carousel continues. Also, what's pretty cool is there is a notification now, which I popped up in one of my other videos if you're watching, where my webcam is. It'll say like your coordinator is leaving to the NFL, or your coordinator's received an offer, or looking to leave, or whatever it is. Like, you get notifications for this stuff, which is super cool. Something we didn't get last year. And you kind of would just advance and be like, oh, good, Brian's gone. Like, great, my elite coordinator's gone. That's awesome. Or you wouldn't even notice. You'd sim to next season, and you'd be like, why are my recruiting hours only 70 or 65? What happened? And you realize your guy was gone. That was very annoying. So let's go back into the coaching carousel. As you see, now we're done. No more offers. We're too far in. And that's the end. So that's pretty cool. Now let's take it to the next set here, which will be like the players leaving phase, and start to go through some of the off-season quality of life improvements. So we're at the players leaving phase. This is when you actually get to see how many players are leaving on your team. What changed here? First, you can now see the dev trait and the abilities right behind my face. This is really cool. So as you guys know, last year, you could not see as much information. You can now see how they did for you. You could see their injury, their career health, their deal breakers, their attributes, and their dev trait. You could not see dev trait last year. Why is this important? You know how many times this Humphreys guy, let's say, London Humphreys, 82 overall, he'd be leaving and I'd be like, who was that guy? What dev trait is he? Oh, he's only impact? He can go. Oh, he's a junior impact? He can go. But you know how many times I let someone go that I was like, wait, that was the wrong guy? Or did he play for me? I probably don't use him. Then I would go to like the stats, and I'd see like, I could see stats now, and I could see like how many guys had contributions for me. So a lot of the times, what ended up happening was I'd have like these third string cornerbacks who'd have like 4 picks, pass deflections. They actually had a really solid season, but I didn't know what their names were, and I let them walk away. Now you can kind of see like, oh, he didn't even play for me. He's a junior 82. Yeah, we can cut him. Or, oh wait, he logged a lot of snaps for me. Even though he's a junior. I remember that guy. He played really well for me, and that's going to be something that I consider, and I think it's really helpful. And the dev trait, of course, because you know what happened a lot last year? 82 overall sophomore, pretty solid. What's his dev trait? Go back, you have to go all the way back out, go to roster, find your way back, and then you have to go check out their player card, come back, and then you'd be like, wait, I looked at 3 guys. Who was the other one? Go back, go to roster, take out your phone, take a picture. It was annoying. This is a huge quality of life improvement as a whole. Also, it looks like the graphics have cleaned up a little bit. They just made it look a little cleaner. Otherwise, same process here as a whole. That guy decided to stay. That's pretty cool. Zachariah Branch. But as a whole, definitely a big quality of life improvement. And what I'm really saying here in terms of these improvements, like what really stands out is how much time you're going to save. CFP 25 was not for the faint of heart. People needed to invest some time into it. We have spreadsheets. We have, like, I mean, you guys have seen my website, right? All the stuff we have over there on poodlecfb.com. You guys have seen firsthand how much goes into this game. One of the biggest things of this game was it was a bit of a time drag. You'd be writing down dev traits, taking pictures of players, skill caps, referring back to your spreadsheets, your notes. I have so many pictures on my phone that gotta go. But the point is, a lot of these quality of life changes means I don't have to go back and look at photos. I can just have everything on one screen, which I really do appreciate. After advancing through, guys, we got hit with our first recruiting battle. I definitely have to do more studying and research into exactly how these work, the best ways to win them, and there will definitely be a video in the future going over how to handle these. But in the meantime, there you go. That's your first look at a recruiting battle. Georgia fighting with Illinois for a recruit is kind of embarrassing as a whole, but that is what it is. That's what our sims determine. Let's go to draft results, see how that screen looks for the offseason. Same old here, same concept though. You kind of see what you're losing, their dev trait, you see the rounds, but again, the graphics just a little bit cleaner. Where it really starts to get good is going to be in the transfer portal. The transfer portal has definitely been revamped as a whole. When looking at who's available in the transfer portal, this is something I've never seen before. Ryan Williams is available in the transfer portal. Dylan Stewart's available. Keldrick Falk, Leonard Moore, Colin Simmons, Jordan Seaton. These are some big household names that are in the portal. And I'm going to remove some guys from here so I can kind of show you guys what they look like when you actually go to recruit them. But this is something you weren't seeing last year. Unless some guy absolutely dropped the ball, went to Mexico for like a week, lost like 7 straight games in a league that advanced a little too quickly for him. And now your whole team's in the transfer portal. But even then, you never got like the big household names as much. It was rare. Like occasionally you'd see like an Arch Manning here and there. But this is a factor of the new dynamic deal breakers. This is a factor of the more aggressive transfer portal. Of course, guys, I do want to back up a little bit here. And if you do want to alter this, again, EA making the transfer portal and the offseason a lot better, they added a lot of offseason settings. So remember, you can go through and actually change some of the stuff. Besides just wear and tear, they did add this. Max transfers per team. So let's say you're in a more relaxed league. People take vacations. A bunch of adults in there, all full-time jobs. They're busy. People miss games here and there. You could put max transfers down to 4. That way, no one will ever lose an entire team. Like I said, I went to Mexico one time. I remember coming back, and I lost like 5 games. Like, literally 5 games. A lot of my grades dropped. I've been to the Natty like 4 or 5 times before then. I lost them. Neither here nor there. I'm saying I lost them because some guys from my leagues may be watching this, and they'll comment that I lost them, and I'm fronting that I won them. I did not. I lost them, but besides the point, I went to almost like 5, almost in a row, or some distance in between, and I lost 5 games, and I lost my entire team. I came back and I had a 10, 15 plus players, all 90 plus leaving. So you can put this transfer thing on, put this setting on, and now what will happen is you'll only maximum lose 4. You could also drop it so user player transfer chance also goes down. So again, let's say you're in a really relaxed league, a bunch of guys who are full-time or not that great at the game, whatever it is, and you're just tired of losing all these transfers and you just want to deal with it, you could put this actually down. You could put this down to like a 20, and that makes it so user teams just want to deal with the transfer portal. You can also put it down to 0 and turn off the transfer portal entirely. You could do it for both. So let's just say you want to play old school, traditional college football, no transfer. I see a lot of people say, I hate NIL, I hate the transfer portal. You want to run a like old school traditional league, you can put both these down to 0, transfer portal's turned off essentially. There'll be no transferring, right? I'm going to put these back up because I'm trying to show you guys some of the transfer portal stuff, but you can do that. You can make it so. Also, another thing is, a lot of times you're running these leagues, right? I just turned all that off. Oh, let me fix that. All progress players off. But let's say you're running a league, and you're trying to be in a situation where you want to have members joining, right? Let's say you have a consistent 20, but you always want to fill up to 32. A lot of times what happens is in some of these leagues, after a year or 2 of simming, the best teams just get decimated. Like if there's no user in LSU, all their best players leave. If there's no user in Texas, Arch Manning instantly hits the portal. So that's going to be annoying. So let's just say you don't want the CPU teams to get destroyed. You can make it so CPU teams are all the way at 0. That way none of their players transfer. Only user teams transfer. Or make it lower, that way like you don't come and join and be like, hey, where's Arch? Where's Ryan Williams? Where's these guys, right? As you see, those players are leaving because a lot of times there's no user on them. and now stop that from happening and change that as well. So there's a lot more things you could do with it, which is cool because you couldn't do this last year. So EA definitely went a little above and beyond, making sure not only do we have more control, not only did they cater to the traditional CFB heads that want to just play old school football, no transfer portal, no one leaving, keep your roster together. That's pretty cool. And now let's go back to the transfer portal and show you guys how recruiting looks here and kind of just a look at these players. Like, so last year you didn't get players like this. As you guys see also, there's plus 15 in the corner. That is because Kirby Smart does have elite recruiter on some players. So that is what it looks like now. Last year you would just see the new points. Now you can see exactly how much is being impacted by your coordinators or your coaches. So let's scout Dylan Stewart here and kind of see what it looks like to scout a top tier player. There you go. You see his abilities popping up. Wow, he's a beast. Got platinum quick jump, platinum duress. Wow, he's got 96 finesse, 91 speed, 99 pursuit. You which weren't seeing guys like this last year. This is awesome. I love to see stuff like this. This is what real life college football is slowly becoming. We just saw it with Nico. Not that he was Dylan Stewart or anything, but you're seeing it now. Keldrick Falk. Let's see what we got here. Definitely not as good as Dylan Stewart, at least at first glance, I think, but still really good. Dylan Stewart's a little bit better. Let's check out Leonard Moore. We got 89 zone, jammer, 92 speed, 90 platinum blanket coverage. You're getting some beasts in here. These are program changing transfer portal players. You get these players and your entire season next year is gonna be different. You get even two of these edges. You imagine you get two of these edges. This guy looks insane. Colin Simmons. And then we have Jordan Seaton, left tackle. A really nice left tackle here. Platinum quick jump. Got some good abilities. 97 pass block finesse. These guys are great. Game changing transfers. Now what does that also mean from another perspective, right? Let's not look at it from a transfer portal perspective. Let's look at it from a regular perspective. This means what this offseason means. You have to be putting a lot more emphasis on protecting your players, checking their deal breakers. There's also a package that makes your deal breaker threshold lower. I don't see myself using it because of my coach build doesn't have it. I don't think if you watch that video, you'll hear my thought process. I think that lower deal breakers are going to play a bigger role for small schools. I think small schools are going to have a much harder time keeping and retaining a lot of top tier talent, which I don't think a bigger school is going to have as much as a problem as long as you're pretty solid at the game. But lower schools are going to get 5 stars who become divas and have high deal breakers and they don't match and they leave. I think big schools will have less of a problem with that, but it is something to take into consideration. But remember, managing your roster, playing time considerations, deal breakers. You definitely want to be looking at all those things a lot more closely now because of what you're dealing with. And the next thing here, which is pretty cool, in my opinion, outside of the transfer portal, is going to be what they did with the training portal, the training results screen. While we're advancing through, though, another cool thing, you see the dev traits upgrading that were just on the screen. That's pretty cool as they give you notifications of players who are improving. Dev trait up to impact. I definitely like they're telling you. I hated, one of the biggest things I hated about CP25 was the guessing game. Imagine getting dev traits upgraded on players and being like, wait, who was that guy I recruited? Because you're recruiting in 4-year cycles. Imagine like, who was that guy I recruited? That quarterback from 4 years, was he always elite? Was he always star? You would never know if they upgraded. You just kind of guessing. I love that it's showing you how this all went up. My favorite screen though is training results. First off, if you keep this on auto, this screen is lit up like Christmas. Speed higher, overall higher, this higher, that higher, weight higher, as you see with CJ Allen, 237 now from 235. All you're gonna see is all these different upgrades. It's lit up like Christmas, but because we have it on manual, what I love is that you can manually upgrade them. So as you guys see there, see below their overall 20 points, 36, 44, branch. So let's click on branch. This is what's so cool about the offseason now, kind of like Madden a little bit. The excitement you're gonna have when we didn't have excitement in the offseason. If I'm being honest with you, for me, the offseason was basically training results. You wouldn't care about anything. Transporter was lackluster. Everything else was lackluster. Coaching carousel was lackluster. You'd advance the training results. You'd be like, what happened? Then you'd spend like the next hour like trying to figure out what happened with your team. And then if not a lot of things happened, you'd be like, damn, I didn't get my ability. I didn't get my rating. Oh, that was boring. Guess I gotta wait a whole nother season. Now, because you can manually do it, training results period is so much fun. Look at this. This is like having a ton of money. You could just spend it all. Look at that. Look at all those points you could spend. And you could build the players the way you want. So let's go to look at Zachariah Branch. 97 speed. Clearly a speedster type guy, but he's an elusive route runner, but he's built like a speedster. We can do whatever we want. We have 44 points. You can break your calculator out now and see how am I going to spend this. 16 points gets him to 99 speed. I think I'm going to do that. His hands could be a little bit better, right? His hands aren't great. His route running could be better. There's a lot of things we could do here. And let's see what his physicals are, his abilities, right? His physicals, you can only upgrade cutter, which is definitely a huge ability. And to get that, we need a route runner. So if we want to make him a meta player, we actually don't want the 99 speed just yet. We want that route running up. If we can get only 3 points per with all the points we have, we can get this route runner up all the way. We can do a lot here. So very excited for this. Let's get that up one more. Now we're in a 99 deep route running, 93, 94. That's elite. Now cutter, which is kind of like route tech and Madden, you get like those crazy fast cuts. We can get that up to gold, platinum. There we go. So now we're maxed out cutter, maxed out almost route running, and we still have enough points to do something else here. His hands definitely got to get better, but his route running is great. His quickness is great. His power isn't great, but we don't care about that. His IQ could be better, but we don't care about that. COD is pretty great there. In my opinion, what you're doing here is you're upgrading route running. Hands are saving for speed. So let's say we want to get those hands up because they're a little too low. We have plenty of points here. We can get his catching into 88, get it to a 90, get it to a 91, get it to a 93. So now we have a 97 speed, 98 excel, 93 catching, 99, 93, 94 route running with platinum abilities across the board. We just built one of the greatest wide receivers I've quite literally ever seen in CFB. He went up to a 95 overall, and now when you go back to the training results screen, you will see these reflected here as you go through. You see the +8 there. You see everything else. Guys, this is a very, very great addition. It's a quality of life addition. You can see things visibly. You can see it happen. It's quantifiable. And most importantly, how fun was that? How fun was it building that guy? I know you guys can't wait to get your hand on this game and do it yourself. Now we have 100 other players. It's going to take forever. If you don't want to do all that, you can auto progress and you can just hold it. So let's just say on Allen, we hold Y. Choosing to auto progress your entire roster will cause all your players to spend as many of their skill points as possible. This cannot be undone. So what I would recommend doing, if you don't care, like I would go through all the players I really love. If you're in a rush, all the players that matter to me. And then if you have like a bunch of like impact kind of normal dev, veteran, senior, junior guys you don't really care about, you can always just hold Y at the end. But I would definitely go one by one and build all these meta players because there's so much potential here to play around with this offseason and this transfer portal. There's so much stuff to do now. I look forward to this now. I think this is very, very cool. I think as a whole, this is a very cool addition to the game, being able to manually upgrade. Obviously, the biggest thing I've been saying in all my videos, if you guys have seen any of them, is that there's going to be that guy. There's going to be that guy in your league who just gets it. He knows exactly how to build a cheese player. He knows all the thresholds. He knows all the glitchy abilities. He knows all the cheese. He gets out his spreadsheet, his calculator, and he breaks down exactly how many points he needs to build the perfect player. And he's going to really upset you and bother you in your league. He's going to kill you with some players. But if you could do it yourself, you're going to build dominant meta players, guys. But that basically wraps up the transfer portal and the offseason as a whole. EA, I know you're watching this. Shout out to you guys. Kudos. You guys outdid yourself. I think this was you kept what was great in this game, and you made it a little bit better. I think there's a lot more. I used to hate getting past the natty and being like, all I cared for was training results window. Our league sat there for 5 minutes, and it was like, whew, that was fun. All right, back to the season again. And if you weren't that good at the game or you weren't winning a lot, there's not much to look forward to in season. Like if you're not winning much, right? Or you're not competing well, you're not recruiting well. This made the offseason something where I'm enjoying every step of it, and it adds to more of the layers of the game in a game that already has so much to do and think about. But guys, that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. Can you subscribe? Can we hit 40K before the new game drops? I'd greatly appreciate that during this early access window. Can we get 500 likes in this video? And of course, comment down below any and all questions you have about this game. I'll be answering them all during the early window. Great chance for you to learn a lot about this game. Thank you for watching, guys. I'm out. Peace.